Express your feelings through third-party stories. Sometimes when you're in a buying situation and you're talking directly with one other person, it can feel confrontational if you are trying to disagree with them or take things in another direction. The best way to do this is to use a third-party story. It separates it out onto another party so it doesn't feel like an attack on the buyer. So you might say something like, in the past, some of our clients have asked us about XYZ feature because, and by telling that story, you can then ask them the question, do you feel like that's the situation here? And they can say no and disagree, or they can say yes, and you can continue down that line of thinking. But either way, it's not a direct attack. These are really great when you feel like your buyer is doing something maybe that's not in their best interest. Like you get the feeling like they're gonna shop your proposal, or you feel like they're gonna make a bad decision because they haven't included some of the end users. You can say, in my last sales call, the company didn't involve those third-party users and they had some problems. Do you think that would be the case here, or are you gonna incorporate those people later? That great third-party story allows you to bring up things in a non-threatening manner. Express your feelings through third-party stories.
Prospects will believe a story about someone else well before they'll believe anything we tell them as a salesperson. Because for a lot of reasons, maybe they've had a bad experience with a salesperson, they have their defense walls up, they think we're just trying to close a deal or sell them something. So I find that it's much more effective when I can tell a story through the lens of a client that I've worked with. And it's not I'm telling them the benefits of working with me, but I'm just simply sharing with them what my clients told me are the benefits of working with me.
Instead of directly saying, hey, here's what you should consider, we use a third-party story. Now, the third-party story could be a story that I had on another buyer or another sales call, and we bring that in. Certainly, we may not use their name or their company for privacy reasons, or we could, depending on the circumstance. But the fact is, we might reference that situation, reference that story to help the buyer realize, hey, I'm like that other customer, that client. Now, here's the thing. The third-party story doesn't have to be your story. It could be a story that another salesperson in your company had. And you heard that story and you thought it was a good situation. So you use that as an example. You're using it as a reference point to help the buyer you're in front of relate so that they can, in their mind, say, you know what, that's the same situation that I'm going through. And it really can be an effective way to find pain. It can be an effective way to give them an example on what they should be expected to invest for a project or a timeline, a decision timeline.
Discuss this rule with your sales team and think about how you can apply it in your sales process. And don't forget to subscribe to Sandler on YouTube for more information, weekly video tips, and to join the discussion in the community. We'll see you over there.